All right, today we're going to dive into something really powerful. It's this poetic monologue all about separation, about memory, and about that kind of loss that, well, it changes you forever. What's so cool about it is how it takes this ancient story and uses it to talk about a feeling that is just completely, timelessly human.
So right at the start, we're hit with this question. And the thing is, it's not really asking for an answer, right? It's more about setting a mood, a tone. It's this idea that grief isn't some random accident. It's the inevitable shadow that comes with love. That one question, it just anchors the entire emotional journey we're about to go on.
Now you have to understand, this isn't your typical story with a neat beginning, middle, and end. Not at all. It's more like an exploration of a single feeling, this really profound sense of longing that gets kicked off by something so simple, so fleeting, just a scent on the wind.
In this line, wow, it just perfectly captures that core idea. It's that sudden jolt, that moment of recognition where a smell or a sound just completely collapses time, and suddenly a person you've lost is right there with you in the present. It's the spark, really, the thing that sets this whole lament on fire.
Okay, so to really get the depth of this feeling, to understand why it hits so hard, we've got to dig into the story that's underneath it all. The story of Yusuf.
So who is Yusuf? Well, in many religious traditions, he's the figure you probably know as Joseph. And his story, it's an absolute epic. We're talking unjust separation, incredible patience through some serious suffering, and then finally, reunion and vindication. He becomes this powerful symbol for anyone who's going through that kind of painful, totally undeserved separation. And the monologue calls back to this one specific moment from that story. See, Yusuf's father, Yaqub, had been grieving for years, so much so that he'd cried himself blind. But then, he senses his son is coming home from miles away, just by catching the smell of Yusuf's shirt on the wind. It's this incredible moment that ties scent directly to hope, to memory, and to reunion.
So think about all the things Yusuf went through. The betrayal by his own brothers, being sold, thrown in prison for something he didn't do, all those years of separation. Every single one of those themes is echoed in this monologue. The speaker is feeling that same injustice, that same regret, that same deep, profound sense of loss.
Okay, so now that we have the story of Yusuf in our back pocket, we can really start to take apart the grief that's being expressed here. And it's really built on three main emotional pillars.
So pillar number one is this incredibly deep, helpless regret. And it's more than just being sad. It's that desperate feeling of wanting to turn back the clock, to literally rewrite history and stop the thing that caused the separation in the first place.
This line, man, it is the absolute heart of that regret. It's the cry of someone who feels like they were totally powerless to stop what happened. They weren't the bad guy, not at all, but they're carrying all the weight of it, just wishing they could have been the one to save you.
All right, the second pillar is a love that's so complete, so total, it almost becomes something else entirely. It's a love that basically offers to become a substitute for everything and everyone the person has lost. A father, a mother, brothers, all of it.
And this line is it's a stunning declaration. The speaker is pretty much saying, look, the love I have for you is so huge it can fill every single hole left by other people. I will be your entire family, I'll be your whole world, whatever it takes to make you whole again.
And that brings us to the third and final pillar. This really visceral feeling of emptiness, a void. Again, it's not just sadness. It's described as this physical hollowness inside, a space that absolutely nothing else in the world can fill.
I mean, listen to the scale of this metaphor. It's cosmic. The emptiness isn't just a little hole, it's a black hole. It's such a powerful way to say that the absence of this one person creates a void so absolute, so all-consuming, that you could throw an entire planet in there and it wouldn't even make a difference. And that's the whole point the monologue is making. This isn't just any emptiness, it's a specific kind of hunger, a craving that only one person, and I mean one person alone, can satisfy. Nothing else will work, no substitutes.
So, this all leads to a much bigger question, doesn't it? What is it that creates such an all-consuming void? How can the loss of just one person feel so absolute? And how does a lament that feels so personal end up speaking to something so universal?
And that's really where this whole piece just transcends its own story. It starts as this very specific lament, rooted in the story of Yusuf, but it becomes a mirror for a universal human experience that I think we can all recognize in some way.
Just look at how this works.
The speaker talks about feeling estranged from self. And isn't that a universal truth? Losing someone important can make you feel like a stranger in your own skin. That line, "I am hungry for you," that's that specific hunger we just talked about, a feeling nothing else can fix. And this idea that exile is a prison, it just perfectly captures that deep isolation you feel when someone is gone.
And this, right here, might be the most crucial takeaway of the whole thing. The departure of someone who means the world to you doesn't just change your surroundings, it can fundamentally change you. Their absence can actually redefine your own sense of self, your identity, and your place in the world.
And that's really the ultimate power of this monologue. It takes this ancient, epic story and uses it like a container, a vessel, to hold this incredibly timeless and deeply personal emotion. The Yusuf in the story, he stops being just a historical figure. He becomes a stand-in for every Yusuf we've ever lost in our own lives.
But after all that pain and emptiness, the monologue doesn't end with anger or despair. It ends with this simple, gentle blessing. It's a wish for peace for the person who's gone, for sure. But in a way, it feels like it's also offering a little bit of peace and empathy to anyone listening who knows exactly what that pain feels like.
So this piece really gives a powerful voice to a feeling that's often hard to put into words. And it kind of leaves us all with the question to think about, doesn't it? Whose absence do you still feel? Who are the people who have shaped you just by not being there? And whose scent you might still catch every once in a while on the wind?